guys, welcome back. Mystery Motors here, where it's all a mystery till we figure it out. This is an old Kazuma Red Cat Chinese 50cc quad. We've actually got a couple of them. This is probably the most wrench time I've spent on any small engine is on these little 50cc's. So this is one we've had them sitting in the garage for a few years now. This is one I actually built essentially myself. I sourced this frame a few years ago, cleaned it up, painted the tailpipe. We got the black plastic, so it's black and green bike. And then I ran a new wiring harness on this a few years back, and the now that I'm in here again trying to get it running, which we're getting it to fire. We've got fuel, we've got air, we've got spark. I just don't think the fuel that we're getting is consistent, because this carb isn't really the one for this bike. Not really sure which bike this came off of, but it's a similar size, but the choke mechanism just doesn't work here. So I'm going to pull this carb off, give it a good cleaning with some good brake clean, some compressed air, and hopefully that's enough to get us idling well. But see if it won't do anything. I've unloosened up that carb, so we'll pull this off and get it cleaned up, see what happens. So pretty much all these 50cc Chinese quads that I've seen, at least, they have a little, a little gasket. It's not really a gasket, it's just a plastic piece there with an O-ring. I went to take the carb off, and this, naturally being a brittle plastic, they just kind of crack. So I think that might be why it wasn't starting. But the carb has an O-ring on it as well, so I just butted that right up to the flat surface of the intake here. We've got a good seal, and I mean it fires right up. Idles really well. Revs nice and smooth. So we'll see what happens. Get this buttoned up here. Alright guys, so old project. I had some different terminals, like little push clip terminals on here for, I guess, some smaller batteries. I don't know what happened to those batteries, so I'm just putting the classic, the old tried and true. This is actually an older battery, but evidently it was it still works, so fantastic. Old Mighty Max. The old Mighty Max. So we're swapping these over. Gonna get the battery set in here, cinched down, the panels back on, and we're gonna see how this thing rides. Well, this is pretty cool. It's been a week full of easy projects here. So this this bike I put together myself, more or less. I bought the frame. I think the frame came with the engine. And then the wheels and the handlebars, but I don't think it came with plastics. If it did, maybe it was in pieces, but I had this whole thing apart, like the whole frame. The engine was out, cleaned everything up, and this was years ago, but everything still looks pretty clean. But one of the things that you about to die? No. So we've been idling pretty solid. It looks like it's dipping down. Oh, it's right on the edge, man. I wonder. So what I'm thinking is this carb here is definitely not the right carb. I've got it set to like the max idle and the max air fuel. And I mean, it's idling perfect. Seemingly revs perfect, comes back down nice and easy. We're gonna button this thing up. We're gonna button this thing up and see how it rides. Give it a little gas. Come on. Start it up.